The Whispering Well, Part 1. The village of Oakhaven was a forgotten speck on the map, nestled deep within a valley shrouded by ancient, whispering pines. Its isolation was its most striking feature, a quality that both deterred outsiders and preserved the peculiar legends that clung to its very air. Locals spoke of it in hushed tones, their eyes darting nervously towards the forest. They called it the Whispering Well, claiming it carried the voices of the lost, a gateway to something ancient and malevolent. On her first evening, as dusk bled into night, a low, almost imperceptible hum seemed to emanate from the direction of the forest. It was too faint to be a sound, more like a vibration in the air, a subtle pressure on her ear. Its mouth was a gaping maw, covered by a rusted iron grate, barely holding back the darkness within. A faint, earthy smell, mixed with something metallic and acrid, hung around it. But it wasn't the sight that truly unnerved her, it was the sound. She dismissed it as the wind. It was a multitude of voices, indistinct and overlapping, like a distant, sorrowful chorus. Clara pulled out her audio recorder, her hands trembling slightly, the needle spiked. It was real. The sky, which had been merely gray, now seemed to darken further, as if reacting to the well's presence. It was clear, feminine, and filled with an unbearable anguish. Clara, armed with her camera and a notebook filled with historical skepticism, saw only a dilapidated stone structure ripe for a captivating photo series. Yet, the sensation lingered, a phantom touch. The whispers grew louder, clearer, though still unintelligible. They seemed to ebb and flow, rising to a crescendo of sorrowful wails, then receding to a barely audible murmur. Clara watched in horror as a dark viscous liquid began to seep through the cracks in the stones around the well's mouth, smelling of stagnant water and something indescribably foul. She fell, her camera flying from her hand, landing with a sickening crunch. As she lay there, stunned, she saw it. A chilling thought struck her. Were these the voices of the lost the villagers spoke of? The darkness within was absolute, deeper than any shadow. Its fingers twitched, grasping at the air, covered in the dark, foul liquid. It was reaching for her. She flicked on her powerful flashlight, its beam swallowed by the abyss. The hand stretched further, its movements jerky and unnatural. She looked back, but the well was hidden by the trees. Yet, she could still hear it. The whispers, the old woman's warning wasn't superstition. The well was alive, and something was trapped inside. Desperate to get out, she collapsed onto the floor, clutching her head, trying to block out the sounds that echoed in her mind. The pleas, the thump, and now, a new sound, a faint, rhythmic thump thump thump, as if something enormous was trying to break free from its ancient prison. The hand retreated, but the gurgling and slurping sounds intensified, as if something massive was stirring beneath the well. The whispers swelled into a deafening roar, surrounding her, filling her head. She saw nothing but the slick, moss-covered stones descending into the void. Accusatory. The single feminine voice rose above the others, now laced with a chilling fury. It was these legends that drew Clara, a folklore enthusiast and amateur photographer, to its desolate charm. The few villagers she encountered were wary, their greetings curt, their gazes lingering on her modern equipment with suspicion. An old woman, her face a road map of wrinkles, clutched Clara's arm as she spoke of the well. "Don't go near it, child. It always takes." Clara offered a polite smile, attributing the warning to rural superstition. She sought the untouched, the stories that hadn't yet been diluted by the modern world. Her target was the old well, located just beyond the village's crumbling stone wall. She arrived in Oakhaven on a Tuesday, the sky a perpetual canvas of grey. Her rented cottage was small and damp, but it offered a direct view of the path leading to the well. The next morning, determined to get her shots before the light faded, Clara set out. The path to the well was overgrown, branches clawing at her clothes, the ground slick with moss. The air grew colder, heavier, as she approached. When she finally saw it, a shiver ran down her spine that had nothing to do with the chill. The well was indeed ancient, built from rough-hewn stones blackened with age and moisture. A soft, incessant whisper emanated from the well. It wasn't the wind, nor the rustling of leaves. She leaned closer, pressing her ear to the cold stone. As she stood there, mesmerized by the eerie symphony, a single voice detached itself from the chorus. Clara gasped, stumbling back, her heart hammered against her ribs. This wasn't a trick of the mind. This was a direct plea. She looked around frantically. The forest seemed to press in, the trees appearing taller, darker. Driven by a mix of fear and an insatiable curiosity, Clara knelt beside the well, peering through the rusted grate. Then, a sudden, sharp tug on her arm. Clara cried out, scrambling back. Her arm felt cold, as if an icy hand had gripped her. She looked down, but there was nothing there. The whispers intensified, no longer sorrowful, but angry. You saw, Now, you must join us. A guttural, wet sound gurgled from the depths of the well, followed by a sickening The rusted grate began to vibrate, rattling violently. She scrambled to her feet, her mind screaming to run. But as she turned, her foot caught on a root. From beneath the grate, a pale, slender hand, impossibly long and skeletal, reached out. Clara let out a strangled scream, scrambling backwards on her hands and knees. She pushed herself up, ignoring the pain in her twisted ankle, and began to hobble away, eyes fixed on the horrifying appendage. She didn't stop until she burst through the village's stone wall, gasping for air, her body trembling uncontrollably. Clara stumbled into her cottage, locking the door, her breath coming in ragged gasps. She knew now, and it knew she had seen it.